Welcome to Money Moves for CRNAs, the podcast created specifically for 1099 CRNAs who want clarity, confidence, and control over their money. This podcast is for educational purposes only and is not personalized tax or financial advice. Here's your host, Randy Larkin, CPA with Atlanta Tax Planner.
Hi there. If you're a 1099 CRNA, here's something important to understand early. The biggest risks you face aren't always clinical. And this episode isn't about fear. It's about preparation. Because when you go 1099, you don't just change how you're paid. You change how risk shows up in your life. Today, I want to talk about what risk actually looks like for CRNAs, and why understanding that now helps you make calmer, better decisions later. No scare tactics, no legal language, just clarity. The type of risks most CRNAs think about. When most CRNAs hear the word risk, they think about malpractice. That makes sense. You work in a high acuity environment. You manage airways, medications, and vulnerable patients. Malpractice insurance is essential. But here's the key shift. Malpractice risk is only one type of risk. When you work as a 1099 CRNA, you also take on business risk. And that's the part most CRNAs are never taught to think about. What business risk really looks like. Business risk usually isn't dramatic. It doesn't start with worst-case scenarios. It shows up quietly. Things like contract disputes, payment disagreements, non-clinical lawsuits, audit questions, business debts or obligations. And here's what matters. As a 1099 CRNA, the IRS, hospitals, and courts already see you as a business owner. The only question is whether your structure matches that reality. Why structure matters. The law often sees you and your business as the same thing. That means business issues don't stay contained. They can spill into your personal life, your income, your savings, your future plans. That doesn't mean something bad will happen. It means there are no boundaries if something does. And protection is really about boundaries. Insurance versus structure. Insurance is critical. But insurance and structure do different jobs. Insurance reacts after something happens. Structure helps contain the impact. Without structure, contracts are often in your personal name, payments go directly to you, business money mixes with personal money. This is not a moral failure. It's just how many CRNAs start out. But over time, that lack of separation increases exposure. Preparation versus panic. There is a big difference between being fearful and being prepared. Fear says, what if everything goes wrong? Preparation says, if something goes wrong, I want it contained. Prepared CRNAs don't assume disaster. They design boundaries. They understand that structure isn't about drama. It's about professionalism. A simple reframe. Most CRNAs don't actually have a risk problem. They have a structure problem. And structure isn't about complexity. It's about containment. It's about keeping business issues in the business lane so they don't become personal ones. In the next episode, we're going to talk about what preparation really looks like over time and why protection isn't about panic. It's about building systems that support you as your income grows. If this episode helped you see risk differently, that's exactly the point. You don't need to change anything today. You don't need to rush. Just understand this. As a 1099 CRNA, clarity comes before action, and preparation always beats panic. I'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks for listening to Money Moves for CRNAs. New episodes drop twice a month. See you soon. Music licensed from premiumbeat.com. Under license number 7394047.